Guys, it's me, producer Ross, and welcome to another edition of my ITFC. And today I'm joined by James. James, thank you very much for joining me. I would try to pronounce your last name, but a lot of people already know that I butcher last names or just names in general. So I thought I'll leave it to you to say your last name so the listeners, the viewers can know.
You've bottled it, Ross. We went through this a second ago.
I know.
No, it isn't an easy surname to pronounce this. My dad's Greek, my mum's English, so I've obviously adopted the Greek surname. It's Tzanoudakis, silent T. So it's not too bad.
But how you been during lockdown? Your job is to present things at sport events, and we've not been able to do that. So how you been?
It's been tough. I'm not going to sort of sugarcoat it. I've lost 13 events this year. This August, I was obviously going out to Tokyo for the Olympics, the US Open to New York for that. Obviously, Olympics postponed to next year. US Open has gone ahead, but I couldn't get out there. So it's been tough. But, it's been tough for all of us. So, fingers crossed things improve next year. And people's health and safety is the most important thing right now, isn't it? Well, I've been a town fan my whole life. Born and raised in Ipswich, and my dad used to own a Greek restaurant in Ipswich, and a lot of the Ipswich players used to go to this Greek restaurant after the match, the likes of Mauricio Taricco, Steve Sledgley, Richard Wright, Craig Forrest, all that generation of town players. So I was sort of 7, 8 year old kid and was suddenly surrounded by footballers. Yeah. So it was just love at first sight, really.
Can you remember your first town game? Is there one that stick out to you?
Do you know what I can? I can remember my very first Ipswich game. It's quite a good story, this as well. So my dad being friends with a lot of the Ipswich players used to get tickets, and my first game was Carrow Road, away to Norwich. I think it was 95, 94, 95, somewhere around that sort of time. And final score was 2-1 to Norwich. And we went 2-0 down. Norwich were a pretty good side that season as well. John Watt got a penalty to make it 2-1. We were rewarded another penalty by the referee, which would have then, if it had been scored, brought the score back to 2-2. The referee put the ball on the spot. John Watt ready to take the penalty. Linesman calls the referee over. They have a discussion, and it's ruled out, given as not a penalty. And the Ipswich fans went crazy. There were seats being ripped out. Honestly, they were absolutely mental. And I was there with my mum, my dad, and my sister. And obviously, me and my sister were young. And there was this big, raucous from the Ipswich fans. And my mum just turned around to this group of fans next to us and went, "Excuse me, I've got 2 young children with me." And the guy at the front of this group of fans went, "All right, fair enough. Back it up, lads. Back it up."
What year was this?
I think it was 96. It might have been 90. I think it was 95, 96 season.
Okay.
Like I said, we lost 2-1. So I'll check afterwards, but I'm pretty sure it was 95, 96 season.
You've mentioned a few players already, but I'm sure there's going to be a few contenders for your favourite player of all time. So who is it?
Favourite player? I think when you're a kid, there's something magical, isn't there, about football that you don't necessarily have the same feeling as when you're an adult. So although there's been better players since, when I was a kid, my hero was Alex Matthew. He was a striker, he wore the number 9 shirt, scored a lot of goals, and was just a legend. So yeah, Alex Matthew's the man.
It seems like you've had George Burley, Joe Royle, Jimmy Gilton, and then the others. Who's your favourite manager of all time?
Favourite manager is George Burley. I mean, look, obviously it would be easy to say, Bobby Robson, but I wasn't alive during that time. Yeah. So I think you've got to go by your own experiences, haven't you? And George Burley, the football we played on George Burley was magnificent, wasn't it? And we went on to finish 5th in the Premier League, which a lot of non-Ipswich fans don't remember, but we remember it well, don't we? So George Burley, what a team he put together. Bought in Marcus Stewart, didn't he? For was it around 2 million from Huddersfield, and suddenly we had the striker that we needed to Forest promotion, and then Forest 5th in the Premier League. So good memories. Good memories. I went to school with his sister as well. Lisa was in my class. So fond memories of the George Burley era.
You've mentioned a crack off your first game, so I'm sure there's a few contenders for your favourite game.
Favourite game? I mean, it feels too easy to say the playoff final when we beat
Mm.
Barnsley. I mean, that was definitely one of my favourite football memories of my whole life. So I think it's probably got to be that one, really, hasn't it? But another game that really sticks out in my memory, the actual fixture itself wasn't particularly significant, but it was the 3-2 versus Coventry,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when Roy Keane was manager. Like, was it 2000 and I can't remember what year it was.
10 maybe or
The one,
9. Yeah.
something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When Pablo scored that 97th minute winner after they'd equalised. Chris Wood had equalised 94 minutes,
Yeah.
and then Pablo went right down the other end and scored. I mean, it was the game didn't mean a lot at the time, but it was just one of those memories where you just like you see people leaving at 2-1.
Yeah.
And it just always makes you think, never leave early.
No.
Always stay even if you're 4-0 down, stay to the end. You never know.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard a few people saying they did leave when they equalised. Went,
really?
no, none of this. And then, of course, they were walking out and then they heard a big cheer and they're like, what? No, what just happened? It definitely wasn't Coventry scoring a winner. That was us scoring a winner, but that's what it is.
Rob Chandler came on the tannoy, and even he joined in with the celebrations, cheering. Were you at that game yourself?
Yeah, I was there as well. Yeah, it was madness.
Yeah.
I was young as well. I was 14, I think, at the time. So, you know, it was crazy.
Town goal, Mauricio Tarico. I'm going to guess 1997. Home to Birmingham City, and they were top of the league at the time. We were, I think, if memory serves correct, knocking on the door of the playoffs, or might have even been in the playoffs. But anyway, Birmingham were top of the league. It was around Christmas time, and Tarico just burst down the right wing, beat everyone. Was sort of on the corner of the area, and it was one of those sort of like cross-come shots, but it was definitely a shot underside the bar and in, and it was just an absolute. Just a peach of a goal in a game that we desperately wanted to win as well. Other than that, I think Aaron Cresswell's goal, I think it was 2013 against Palace, where he just absolutely rifled it top bins. That was a great goal as well. So those two are pretty high up there. They definitely stick out in memory.
Kit somewhere on one myself. You said, "Oh, you like that kit when we
love
first
that kit, yeah."
But for you, I'm sure you've had a few yourself during your younger days and stuff. But which one sticks out for you as your favourite kit?
I would have said that kit if I'd have thought about it, actually, because that is a really, really cool kit. It's really retro. Do you know what? I think my favourite kit, and actually to look at, it's definitely not a sexy kit. It's probably bit of a controversial choice this, but it was 95, 96, or maybe it was 96, 97 home kit. You know the one I mean? It's sort of that blue that sort of like dissolves into white.
Yeah.
And that was I think that was my first town kit. And again, John Watt was an old family friend, and my dad was mates with him, and he got me the kit for free. And the first thing I did was go and get Alex Matthews' name put on the back. I remember my dad going, "John Walk's bought you the kit, and you've gone and got Alex Matthews' name on the back." But he was my favourite player, so what are you going to do?
That kit is controversial for a lot of people. A lot of people actually do like it. Like it doesn't look pretty, but
no,
it does stand out. It's one of those where you look back and go, you know, actually, it's not too bad. Actually, it's a standout kit. What's your feelings on this season's kit?
I really like this season's kit. I really like it. And actually a little bit disappointed because last season we did a media match ahead of the season. Stuart Watson was there. Andy Warren was playing as well. And we took on the F2 freestylers. I mean, that was whoever came up with that idea. It was the most ridiculous matchup ever. We were 7-0 down after 60 minutes, but we got one back. But I think Dan Palfrey from Ipswich media team scored. Were you there? Were you playing?
I was there, yeah. I wasn't playing. I was just doing the video and stuff. So.
You're doing the video? Yeah. I mean, that was a great match. And we obviously got to keep the kit afterwards. So I was thinking this year, obviously nothing's happened this year, has it? But that would have been fun, and to have got that kit as well. Although having a kit which has got your own name on the back, I think after the age of like 21, that's not okay anymore.
First game was going away from home, away ground, Carrow Road. But what is your favourite away ground that you visited?
Good question. Favourite away ground. Do you know what? So I followed Ipswich. I'm 34 years old now. I followed Ipswich since I was about 9 years old. So let's round it up to 15 years. Not a great mouse, but anyway, I have never seen Ipswich win away.
Jeez.
I do a bit of work for the club, and I did the Burton game last season. So I was away. I was there for them winning away, but I wasn't in with the fans. I was there working. So I don't count that because you've got to be in with the fans and celebrating to feel that joy. And I've never had that. Yeah. I went to Derby when we were 4-1 up. Away to Derby at half time, and I was there with my mate who was a Forest fan, and he was like, "Here you go, you've finally broken your curse." And I was like, "One more," and then obviously Derby equalised. I couldn't believe it. I went to Forest away. I went to City Ground 1-0 until the 95th minute. Liam Trotter equalised for Forest. Yeah. So I don't have great memories, Ross, of following Ipswich away. You know, like a lot of fans might say, "Oh, my favourite away game has been such and such," but I haven't ever seen Ipswich win away other than that Burton game where I was working and filming, and it doesn't count. Yeah. So, favourite away ground. If I had to pick one, Southend, Roots Hall's always a good away game, isn't it?
It's close to the pitch and stuff, but in terms of the ground, it's
Your face then, you were surprised by that. For me, it's about the experience you have when you go to away grounds, isn't it? I didn't get to any of the Premier League games in 2000 and the away grounds there. Most of my experience following it, which has been, I've been to quite a few away games, but not been to sort of the big grounds to follow Ipswich. So I'm going to go Roots Hall. Why not?
Why not? Bit different. I'm sure no one else is going to mention that, but yeah.
There's been so many lows supporting Ipswich. I talk about this with fellow Ipswich fans and my mates who don't support Ipswich, and try and explain to them it's such a tough club to support because the expectations are so high, and the reality is we are probably at the level that we deserve at the moment in terms of the way we've played over the last 5 or 6 seasons, and the way the club is. We are a League One club now, and it's hard. It's a tough, bitter pill to swallow. I think probably, and then also the fact that the last time we got in the playoffs, we were beaten by Norwich. That still hurts. It still hurts. Really does cause a lot of pain. That I think probably the worst ever game was the 5-1 at home to Norwich. I mean, it was just goal after goal, wasn't it? And the Norwich fans singing, "I want to go home, I want to go home." Ipswich is you know what I'm trying to say. And it was echoing across the whole of Ipswich. Yeah. And they obviously hold the away fans in. And that stuff like that stays with you for life.
Like losing 5-1 at home is not great, but it makes it worse when it's your big rivals, and it's just it's not great.
You know that a DVD's coming out at the end of the season for moments like that. I mean, the 5-0 that we beat them, 96 season when Matthew got a hat trick and Petter scored 2. We still live off that. So imagine how they must. You know what? Fair play to Norwich. This is probably the greatest. The greatest part in the club's history, isn't it? With all these memories over Ipswich. So
hopefully we'll break that hoodoo one day, but I don't know. It's been a while.
I know. Got to get back up first, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Favourite moment as a Town fan has definitely been working for the club. I'm lucky. My job sort of takes me all around the world covering sports events. And for me, all I've ever wanted to do is work with Ipswich Town. Yeah. And I've obviously had the opportunity to work quite closely with the club, to do features with players and match days and things like that. And it's been amazing, to be sort of like in the tunnel as players are walking out, to kind of get that behind the scenes look into how the club sort of operates. That to me has been, priceless. It's been absolutely fantastic. In the footballing sense, again, I'm sorry to not be very original with the answer in this, but the playoff final. I mean, it was such a good game, wasn't it? I know we've all sort of reflected on those memories, haven't we? Because it's been a milestone since that happened, but 20 years, isn't it? But you know, that match was just incredible match, and we thought we were going to blow it, didn't we? At 3-2, Barnsley were knocking on the door, save from Richard Wright, point blank range header, and you thought this is just gonna go. They're going to equalise here, but then obviously the rest is history. Rooster threw on goal, 4-2, Premier League, and that, you know, knowing you're going to be playing the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool the next season, that was an amazing feeling. Definitely. Amazing. Hopefully, you never know.
Next 20 years. 40th anniversary of the playoff, and then we go up, but we'll wait and see. I'm going to end this video. I know you do stuff with the club and stuff, and but what's your current feeling is going into this season? Are you hoping that we can do better than last season? I know there's a lot of unrest at the moment, but how are you feeling going into another season in League One?
It's really tough to call, isn't it? I mean, in terms of like the players we've got, I think we've got a strong enough squad to finish in the automatic promotion places. Lambert's got a job this year, though, isn't he? He's got to find his best squad. He's got to find some sort of settled squad. He's got. I don't think we're going to bring many more players in. I think you've got to be finishing top 6 with that side. So I'd say I'd like to think we'll be top 6. If things go away, you never know. Automatic promotion could happen. Could it be a repeat of last season? Again, you never know. It's Ipswich, so let's see.
Well, James, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great to hear all your memories. Some great ones in there. Thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure, Ross. Pleasure, mate. Keep up the good work.